Hi everybody, time for Regents Review number 14. This is a short one. There's only 5 questions here. There's no back. Number 1, what is the slope of the line that passes through the points -2, -7, and -6, -2? Now this is the question that is only asking for the slope. We see questions where it gives us 2 points and it asks for the equation of the line, and then a lot of you just find the slope and then you lose half the points because you didn't do the rest of the question, which is to actually find the equation of the line. This does not ask for the equation of the line. This is just asking for the slope. So we have x1, y1, x2, and y2, and I can go ahead and use my slope formula, which you have to memorize. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This formula is not given to you. So I have y2, which is -2, minus y1, so it's minus a -7, over x2, which is -6, minus x1, which is a -2. It's important that you have both negatives there. And when you have 2 negatives, they switch to positives. So it's -2 plus 7, which is 5, and -6 plus 2, which is -4. So our slope is 5 over -4. Number 2, which interval represents the range of the function 2x squared minus 2x minus 4? So range are your y values. So an easy way to do this would be to graph it. I go to y equals in my calculator. So, oh gosh, I forgot it already. Y equals 2x squared minus 2x minus 4. And then I hit graph. So I want to see what y values this graph covers. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, so it looks like the lowest this graph goes, the lowest the graph goes down, is pretty close to -5. It's actually in between -4 and -5, so that means the lowest it's going is -4.5. And you could actually calculate that by hitting calculate, and there should be a minimum option somewhere. I don't actually know how to find it. Oh, no. Okay, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know how to do it. But on your actual calculators from school, you can press calculate and calculate the minimum value. And that will tell you it's -4.5. So the lowest it can go is -4.5, and the highest it can go, well, if I keep going up, clearly, if I zoom out, you can tell that this baby's never stopping. So it's going all the way up to infinity. So the lowest it goes is -4.5, and the highest it goes is infinity. So I can eliminate choice 1 and 3. That leaves me 2 and 4. 2 has a parenthesis at -4.5, which means there's an open circle at that point. And the bracket means there's a closed circle at that point. And when we were looking at the graph, there was not an open circle there. So that means that it should be a closed circle, which is option 4. Number 3, which notation is equivalent to the inequality -3 is less than x is less than or equal to 7? So we need to remember that when you have the inequality with no line, that's a parenthesis, which is equivalent to open circles, like we just said. And the inequality with a line is a bracket, which is equivalent to closed circles. So my -3 needs to have a parenthesis because the -3 has an inequality without the line. And my 7 needs to have a bracket because the 7 has the inequality with the line. So I'm looking for -3 parenthesis and 7 bracket, which is choice 2. See the parenthesis with the -3 and the bracket with the 7. Number 4, what is the value of the expression when a equals -3? So it's telling you what a equals. So we can go ahead and plug that in anywhere we see an a. So it's 3, and then instead of a, in parentheses, I'm putting -3. And then the squared minus 4, absolute value of -3, plus 6. We could use our brains to do this, which we'll do first, but then I can also show you how we can do it in the calculator. So -3 squared, that's -3 times -3, that's +9. So we have 3 times 9 minus 4, and absolute value is taking the positive value. So the positive equivalent of -3 is +3. And then 3 times 9 is 27. 4 times 3 is 12. And then plus 6. So if I do 27 minus 12 plus 6, we can do that here. So 27, nope, not there, hold on. 27 minus 12 plus 6, and I get 21. But if you want to play it safe and not risk doing any calculations wrong, you could just type that all into your calculator at once. You could use the trick that I taught you with the storing of a number. So if we do negative, it is -3, right? Yeah, -3 store as x. The store button that's on this calculator, the STO, it's right above that question mark in the bottom left corner. Now anytime I type in x, it's going to calculate it as a -3. So if I just type my question in, 3x squared minus 4 absolute value of x plus 6. So 3x squared minus 4. To get your absolute value, you're pressing math, going over to num, and it's option 1, ABS, absolute value, of x. And then, was it minus 6? No, plus 6. So because I did that -3 store as x, this is going to plug in -3 for me, and we get 21. Or you could do it the old school way, and that's just plug in -3 on your own. So 3 times -3 squared minus 4, absolute value of -3 plus 6. And you get 21. Last question. Which system of linear equations has the same solution as the one below? So I need to figure out what the solution to this system of equations is. I'm going to solve this using elimination just because it's going to be the easiest. Since my x's already match, I just need them to be opposites. So what I'm going to do is take my top equation and multiply it by -1 to get them to be opposites. So that is going to give me -x plus 4y equals +10. So then my x's eliminate, and I'm left with y plus 4y, which is 5y. I'm just going to write this up here. And then it's 5 and 10, which is 15. Divide by 5. So y equals 3. So I know the y value is 3. And then my x value, I just plugged this back into one of my originals. So I'm going to use this original, x plus y equals 5. I know that y is 3, so x plus 3 equals 5. And you're asking yourself what number plus 3 equals 5, which is obviously 2. But if you want to just get x by itself, you can find that it's 2. So my solution to this system is 2, 3. So I want to see which of these options below gives me the same answer. And I know you're like, oh my god, I have to do 4 more system of equations. But these are all actually pretty easy because each one of these gives you an equation that only has one variable in it already. So number 1, for example, I already have this equation with just an x. So all I have to do is divide by 5 to see if I get x equals 2, like I did with this system, which I did. So now I need to plug in 2 to see if I get a y value of 3. So we have x equals 2, and if I plug that in, 2 plus y equals 5, and you're asking yourself, 2 plus what number equals 5, which again is obviously 3. But if you solve it, you do get y equals 3. Those answers do match the original. So we already have our answer. We don't even have to solve the rest. If you wanted to solve the rest, you would see, okay, well, if I divide this one by -5, I get y equals 1. But this system had a solution of y equals 3. So you could eliminate that right away. For number 3, you could divide this by -3, and you would get that x equals 10. Well, we're supposed to get that x equals 2, not 10, so you could eliminate that one. And then finally, number 4, if you divided this by -5, you would get that y equals 1, again, just like number 2, but we know that our y is supposed to equal 3, so you could eliminate that one, which just further verifies that 1 is the correct answer. And that's all.